Hey Viking fans, Kwesi Mensa was not done making moves today. Let's talk about that next. Welcome back, Skull Brothers and Sisters. This is Skull World, brought to you by Minnesota Sports Talk. I'm your host, Dave. You can follow me on Twitter, TikTok, and Facebook at Skull World. Now, make sure you hit subscribe, like, and leave a comment below, and you'll be entered in my contest. I am giving away $50 currently. More subscribers, more money I give away on the day of the game, September 11th against the Packers. Make sure you hit subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. You'll be entered in that contest. Now let's get started talking about the moves. Kwesi Mensa with the also with the short recap. Now, yesterday we had Watts get released, and he passed through waivers, and now he's a Chicago Bear. Probably if he's gonna go to a team in the division, it might as well be the worst team in the division. However, I don't want to make division rivals better, and we made them better by releasing Watts. I was disappointed. I don't know why we didn't have cap issues, and we did save money, and now we got like 11 million under the cap, and all the Vikings are expecting a big move. We'll talk about that later. But to ease the pain, we got a second round pick out of the 2020 draft. And that was Ross Blacklock. Ross Blacklock. And he eased the pain a little bit. He was well thought of coming out of TCU. And I talked about it in my last video, so go check that out after you're done with this one. I did my reaction to his NFL draft profile. He has potential. He hasn't done much starting yet. He hasn't had much production yet. Maybe needed a change of scenery. In college, I could see where they were seeing him. I didn't think, looking at his video, that he was worth a second round pick as high as it was. I think he was 40th. But a lot of people did. And honestly, I don't know how much drop off there's going to be from Watts to him. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. He's not starting right now. They have him as listed on the depth chart as a backup. So he's got to earn playing time. But I think we have moves to make. He is depth on our line. He's not going to be that bad a player. He's 290, he's 6'3". He's pretty quick. He has some pass rush ability. We'll see what happens. Now, so losing Watts, we got Ross Blacklock. Both, Blacklock, Watts was a 6th round pick. Blacklock was a 2nd round pick. So you'd think we'd get a fair value, a good exchange out of that. We'll see. Now, obviously, Watts had the ability to work with Danielle Hunter, some really good defensive linemen. Griffith. There's so many defensive linemen he got to work with that were able to help out Danielle Hunter. Now help out Watts. Now Blacklock will have that same opportunity with the Danielle Hunter as the Darius Smith, even though they play outside linebacker now. But he's got opportunity to learn from really good guys like Harrison Phillips, who's a leader. He doesn't need to be that guy to expect it to start right away. The pressure's off right now. He just needs to come in there and work hard. So I'm feeling pretty good out. It's not a very expensive move, and we'll see. Now, this was the shocker today. Jalen Reagor. Now, if you remember in the 2020 draft, there's video out there, Spielman laughing when they drafted Jalen Reagor. Not that they were laughing at Jalen Reagor. They were laughing that the Philadelphia let Justin Jefferson go, the player they wanted. Now, I could see, and I saw a tweet today about inside information about, hey, Jalen Reagor really struck him bad when he saw a video of Spielman laughing about the Eagles drafting him, and that he's fine, that now that he's gone, he's no problems going to the Vikings. I don't know how much of that is true, but it was a tweet that's out there, made the rounds. I shared with a friend, but I didn't retweet it. But hey, we'll see. You know, it is odd that we got Justin Jefferson, and now that we also got Jalen Reagor, and there's guys out there, podcasters, that are saying the same thing I said about Justin Jefferson. I thought he was gonna be good. I didn't know he was gonna be this good. And then poor Jalen Reagor, who had to be compared to Justin Jefferson in Philly the past 2 years, he didn't ask for it. He didn't have a Kirk Cousins throwing to him like Justin Jefferson did. Jalen Reagor, they were like the leading rushing offense in the league. So, hey, Jalen Reagor is going to a good place. Now, what makes this good is that we really needed a punt returner. Did we really want Amir Smith-Marset, who never returned punts in college, all of a sudden start returning punts? I don't think we did. And now that Reagor is something, he returned a bunch to the house back in college. He returned one his rookie year. And he didn't return any last year, but for touchdowns, but he has a lot of experience returning punts. So do I feel good about it? Yes, I do. And I'll talk a little bit more about him in a second, but we released Amir Smith-Marset. Now, do we want to bring him back on the practice squad? Maybe. We have spots open. We have spots open right now. I think 3. Could we bring him back? Yeah, we could. However, is he going to get to us? I don't think so. There's a lot of teams, including the Lions and Bears and the Packers, that could use a good receiver like him. I don't see how ISM makes it through 31 other teams to allow us to try to re-sign him. And would that piss him off and he would go re-sign elsewhere? We'll see. I don't know why we didn't keep 6 wide receivers in an ISM. Like, I wasn't too bad thinking about Reagor. Like, we traded a 7th this next year, and a conditional 5th. It bumps up to 4th if he meets the conditions. And so we gave up, if he does really well, meets the conditions, we gave away a 7th and a 4th for him. He was a first round draft pick, 21st overall, and we got him for a 4th and a 7th. That's not bad. He has talent. He is physical talent, and we'll talk about that in a second. But, getting a Reagor to return punts, I can see the value in that. He's most likely going to be ahead of Naylor, but we only kept 5. Why didn't we release an Oli Udoh, who no one's probably going to pick up because of the way he played last year, and we went from 10 linemen to 9, which is pretty traditional, having 9 linemen. Why didn't we do that? I don't know. Maybe there has to be some other reason that we would release ISM, who is not going to pass through waivers. He's not going to make it. Good luck to you, ISM. I hope the Bears and I hope the Packers and I hope the Lions don't pick you up. I do not want to face you. You had a really good preseason, and I just don't understand not keeping him and Reagor. But we'll see. Now, I do always like to go through a draft profile of a new player, and this is my first reaction to it. And we're going to talk about Jalen Reagor and why he was drafted in the first round. I don't feel like he was a first round pick. I feel like looking at his college, I don't see him being a first round pick. Can I see him being a 2nd or early 3rd? Yeah, I could. I could see that. And I think what really pushed him up the draft chart, which put too much pressure on him in football, is his combine times. Now, he's also TCU, and apparently he was best friends with Gladney, who passed away, who we got from TCU. That again was a tweet that I saw that he apparently was best friends with them, and now he's gonna be wearing a Viking uniform. However, we did release Gladney, so I don't know and then Spielman, it laughed at the Eagles not taking Justin Jefferson. I don't know how much animosity he had towards the Vikings, and here we are, and now we are trading for him. So it's kind of awkward. It is kind of awkward that we would pick a Jalen Reagor up, but his punt return ability is what did it. Is no question about it. So he's from Waxahachie, Texas. He's a 5'11". He left as a junior, 206 pounds. Arm length 31 3/8, not the longest, and 9.5-inch hands, pretty average. This is where it gets kind of good. This is where it gets good. He had a 4.47 40. I think that's faster than it's about the same as a Jalen Nailor, who's called Speedy Nailor, and you can see he's pretty fast. He's also very shifty, so that's what makes him a good punt returner and like bubble screen guy. Most of his highlights were from doing bubble screens with the Eagles. I like the fact he's a gadget guy. Go 4 wide, throw him a bubble screen. He's that type of player. He's got a burst on him. Yeah, he bench pressed 17, which is pretty decent for a receiver. Vertical jump though, 42 inches. I think Tristan Jackson was close to that, but this by far is the highest leaper on the team, 42 inches. It's only 5'11", but 42 inches is crazy. And that relates to power and being a burst of speed. 42 inches. What's also crazy, broad jump, 138 inches. Let's look at that. I got the trusty calculator. 138 divided by 12, 11.5 feet. That's close to the NFL record, if not the NFL record. I don't know. There's probably been more than 5 people that have broad jumped that far that's been an NFL player. So the fact that he has a 42-inch vertical, 11.5 feet, 11.5 feet broad jump, that is nuts. A 3-cone drill, kind of shocking he didn't do better here because there's been faster, 7.31 and 20-yard shuttle drill 4.46. But it doesn't show like that on the highlight tapes. He looks like he's stopping on dimes and breaking ankles. So yeah, and his analysis was first, second round. I may have been a little too harsh saying he was probably a 3rd round pick, the way he looks. I have seen players drop his caliber that way in a deep wide receiver draft. So, but 2nd round, probably more reasonable. I believe he translates well in the NFL. I just think he probably wouldn't have been, coming from TCU. I don't think he was going to be an elite player right out of the box, which he was expected to be as a 1st-round pick, and the way Justin Jefferson ended up doing it. Now, keep in mind, Justin Jefferson wasn't starting. Jalen Nailor or Jalen Reagor, he had the same opportunities. Now, overview: spotty quarterback play helped cause a production drop as last year, and we went from like 1,100 yards to 600 yards. Much like ISM at Iowa, he didn't have a huge production. But his focus and competitiveness also seems spotty at times. Reagor is a smooth athlete with blazing speed who has more playmaking talent than receiver skill, and play callers need to account for when determining how to utilize him. This makes a great point. He needs to be utilized properly. This guy's got explosive speed, so those bubble screens, big opportunity, because he can break them. Now, what's also odd is ISM was being heralded for his, run blocking and as a wide receiver, which would have been great for someone to do bubble screens. But hey, who knows? Maybe Justin Jefferson and Thielen will, block. You put him in there. We'll see. Play calling does mean a lot. And so that makes a good point. He's electric with the ball in his hands, getting Getting it to him quickly rather than asking him consistently make plays for himself as a ball winner could be crucial. When 2019 is balanced against his 2018, the grade his projection begin to climb with a versatile receiver who's able to spice the offensive gumbo. So I think, it was worth it to try to juice, the most out of this player. I think it was worth it. He was well thought of. There's a lot of people. I've already listened to 2 Vikings podcasters that were wishing at the time, they're admitting to it, wishing at the time that they would have took Reagor over Justin Jefferson. So there was a lot thought of this guy, and Viking fans thought of. Now, obviously, hindsight's 2020. There's not many players in the NFL better than Justin Jefferson, let alone receivers. So now let's look at his strengths. I'm seeing him do the bench press. The guy is jacked. And I'm looking at the video, his 40 time, and he just looks smooth. Smooth player. Strengths, fluid but explosive. There you have it. I think the same thing could be said for Justin Jefferson. I didn't realize I saw he was fluid, but I didn't know he was explosive. And then, see him run in and out of routes, seeing him off the line, he is explosive, but Reagor has that explosive ability already. Versatility to create chunk plays from all levels. 42-inch vert. This guy leaped over people and mossed them in college. He's got real good highlights. Amazing catches and concentration, which is odd because the drops they keep talking about at him in the pros, it's what's held him back and caused animosity with the fans. He sells the vertical push to set up route breaks. That's great to hear. Loose hips to sink quickly to snap off breaks. Shows ability to lose coverage at the top of his route. It's good to hear. I did see his separation was due to his speed. Like getting on a D-back and blowing by him and being open like that. Again, he apparently spotty quarterback play as a junior year. Gets to the top speed very quickly. That's what I just said. And opens up separation deep. Just said that. Able to leap up the ladder and snag it at the high point. Saw plenty of that. Silky with the ball in his hands. Yeah, I believe he beats out ISM in that category, where if you get him in open space, he could take it to the house. I don't see ISM doing that. Plays like a slashing running back in space. I agree. He's kind of built like one. He's a little shy of being a running back type of body, but he's not too bad. Creative return options with home run potential. Awesome. That's why I want him. That's why he's on the team, as he can return some punts, man. Weaknesses. Gets stalled by a press more than expected. I hear that. That's what people are talking about. Like he's not good out the outside, that he's probably better at slot because of, him being press coverage. Strong cornerbacks ride and grind in early stages of route. Needs to maintain focus and finish his routes. It's something he should have learned in the NFL. We'll see. We got a pretty good wide receiver coach, so let's see. Frustration with the quarterback appeared to creep into play at times. It probably did in the pros too, but apparently this year they were talking about how dedicated he was, how hard he worked, how good of an attitude he had, even though he wasn't going to be the starter. And cornerbacks go unstacked on long throws. Uneven tape in competitive catch situations. Again, he's apparently pretty iffy at 50-50 balls, but he's had some really good catches on 50-50 balls. Inconsistent leveraging space to catch. Ball skills fail to match athletic ability. But he does jump 42 inches in the air. That does help. Honestly, in college, his hands didn't look too bad. But it apparently has been a problem in the pros. We'll see. We'll see what we got here. I'm pretty excited about having him. I'm disappointed about losing Watson ISM. I don't know why we don't have them on our team still. We had other guys we could drop. And now let's talk about practice squad situation. All right. So yeah, here we go. So here's what's been on the practice squad. I don't have a graphic for that. Let me Let me put up your fearless leader cousins here, pointing at you. Get ready. Get ready. Let's freaking go. All right. So current Viking practice squad players: Bryant Kobach. I figured that. Tristan Jackson. Figured that. Dan Chesina. Makes sense. I talked about that in 53s, that it would be kind of good to have him on the team if we feel like we need a good, if our special teams are lacking and we needed a Dan Chesina on that particular game, that we could put him on the, if there was an injury, we could put him on the active roster. Nick Muse, tight end, rookie. He was the first draft pick ever cut by Kwesi. Kyle Hinton. Josh Sokol, center. TJ Smith. Now, that was the backup nose tackle. When we lost T.Y. McGill, that kind of sucked. I thought maybe TJ Smith might make it because of that, but honestly, it was a good move putting him on the practice squad. Jalen Twyman, he gets a chance. He gets to stay with the Vikings. Give him another year. Let's see what he does. Janarius Robinson, same deal, man. That guy is a beast in college. I'm hoping he turns it around. He's a huge, hulking-looking guy now. William Quinku, Perry Nickerson. That's a little safety situation for Boyd if he doesn't pan out. Tay Gowan, no idea. Miles Dorn, who had awesome preseason, I thought, and I'm pretty happy that we kept him. Here's some Vikings that are still out there. Myron Mitchell. I thought he was going to be on the practice squad. I thought for sure. Zach Davidson. Thought for sure. So these guys are probably still negotiating. We got 3 spots left. Wyatt Davis, I could see him gone and never being being an NFL player again. Timon Paris, same deal. Don't think he's going to be anywhere. He had the worst tape of anybody in that last game. Zach McLeod, kept keeping him around. Not bad for a UDFA that we paid $250,000. So we still got something to squeeze out of this guy. Chaz Surratt. Oh, he went to the New York Jets. Yeah, he went to the New York Jets. Blake Lynch, Ty Smith, and Mike Brown. So the people that I would say, if I pick 3 guys out of that list, I would say Zach Davidson, number 1. Oh, yeah, no, this is the cut, so Zach McLeod's still out there. I don't know what I was talking about. These are the ones that are still out there. So Zach McLeod is still out there. Out of this list, I probably would take Zach Davidson, Blake Lynch, and now that we lost ISM, probably Myron Mitchell. But Zach McLeod would have been high on my list to bring back. So those 3 guys, I would probably add and get it up to 16. So, hey, I hope like the show. Make sure you hit subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. Enter my contest. I'm giving away currently $50 in a gift card to a website of your choice. Hopefully you buy Vikings gear. I'd appreciate that. And if you like another team, whatever. But, hey, all the listeners are welcome. None of my family members can win, so if you see them commenting, they're not going to win. So I am giving it to a listener. Now we're going live tonight on Purple Pocket Podcast with MC Rap. I call the Purple MLK because it's bringing all the fans together, and that's at 9:15 Eastern, 8:15 Central. Come listen to us. Go over there, hit subscribe, like, and ring the bell over there so you don't miss one of our live shows. And also the Purple Code on YouTube and Facebook. We go live on Facebook on Tuesdays at 9:15 now Eastern Time, 8:15 Central. So, the Purple Code, Purple Pocket Podcast, Minnesota Sports Talk. Join that network of content creators for the Vikings. Come and listen. I love it. Skull Vikings. See you next time. Cue the music. Thank you. Thank you, Viking fans, for listening. Make sure you catch my other episodes. Also, make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Skol Vikes. Thank you, Viking fans, for listening. Make sure you catch my other episodes. Also, make sure you subscribe, like, and leave a comment below.